I was about to enter my house when I heard my daughter's voice. "Tonight," she whispered. "It has to look like an accident. If we don't do it now, we'll lose everything." My hand froze on the doorknob. Her husband answered, voice low and sharp. "The insurance is in her name. The house is fully paid. After she's gone, we sell it and split the rest. No more waiting." My heart stopped. They were talking about me. Ordinary life plus character flaw/moral choice. My name is Amina. I'm 62 years old, a retired school teacher, and I have one daughter, Layla. For most of my life, I believed one simple rule. If you love someone, give them everything. Don't let them struggle like you did. I grew up poor. My father earned barely enough to buy bread. My mother washed other people's clothes to pay our school fees. I always told myself, if I ever have a child, she will never know hunger, never feel shame, never be denied anything. And I kept that promise, maybe too well. I married young, and my husband Farid and I built this little house brick by brick. When he died 10 years ago, he left everything to me, about $80,000 in savings, plus this old but solid house in a quiet street. My pension as a teacher was small, around $540 a month, but with his savings and careful planning, I lived comfortably. Layla never liked careful. "Mom, why can't you just spend?" she'd complain. "You have money. What's the point if you die with it in the bank?" Still, I spoiled her. When she wanted a new phone for $900, I bought it. When she asked for $5,000 for a business idea, I gave it. When she got married to Murat and they couldn't afford a place, I said the sentence that would later haunt me. "Come live with me. It's your house too, my child." I didn't set rules. I didn't ask them to contribute to bills. I paid for groceries, electricity, water, everything. I told myself, it's okay, they are young. They will grow up and be grateful. Instead, they grew comfortable. Slowly, my home stopped feeling like mine. Loud music late at night, dirty dishes in the sink, my favourite armchair taken to their bedroom without asking. Murat's friends coming over, drinking, laughing, leaving beer bottles everywhere. Sometimes, in the quiet of my tiny bedroom, I would clutch Farid's old sweater and whisper, "I think I made a mistake. I gave too much." But every morning I cooked for them anyway. I washed their clothes. I slipped money into Layla's purse when she wasn't looking. I thought I was loving them. Maybe. I was feeding a wolf. The night everything cracked. That evening I had gone to visit my neighbour, Uncle Yusuf, an old widower who lived alone 2 houses away. People called him Wise Yusuf, because he always had some simple, strange sentence that later proved true. I had taken him some lentil soup and bread. We sat silently for a while, watching the sky darken. "You look tired, Amina," he said. "I'm fine," I lied. He studied my face. "You give too much. People who give too much often fall the hardest." I smiled weakly. "It's my only child. What else can I do?" He didn't answer. He only sighed and murmured, "Even a tree must learn not to let others cut its own roots." His words bothered me all the way home. When I reached my front door, I noticed something. The lights inside were on, but the curtains were drawn. The main door was slightly open, just a tiny crack. I stepped closer. Then I heard my daughter's voice coming from the living room. "I checked the documents again," she said. "The life insurance is $120,000. The house, at least $200,000 now. That's $320,000 in total. We're stuck here, renting our lives to an old woman who refuses to die. Old woman. She was talking about me like I was a problem, a number." My stomach turned. Murad replied, "She's not going to sign the house over. I tried last time, remember? She said, 'I'll think about it.' She'll never think about it. She's stubborn. So we help fate." There was a pause. I heard the rustle of paper. "We'll say she slipped down the stairs. She's always complaining about her knee. Poor old Amina. She fell while carrying laundry. We cry, we call the ambulance. Done. My legs shook. Are you sure? Layla whispered. I mean, she's my mother. There it was, a tiny hope in her voice, a crack in the darkness. Murat snorted. Your mother who never lets you live your own life. Your mother who controls the house, the money, everything. You want to keep working that boring job for $700 a month? Or do you want a real life, travel, a new apartment, a car in your own name? We're talking over $300,000. Money. Greed had put its hands around my child's throat and was squeezing. I don't want to see it, she said, weaker. You won't, he replied. I'll take care of it, tonight. She goes down the stairs, hits her head. You'll be in your room. You'll hear the thud. You come out, cry, call the ambulance. We'll both say the same story. Finished. My hand dropped from the doorknob. I stepped backward slowly, heart pounding in my ears. My own daughter, my own blood, the night walk and the old man's words. I did not enter the house. I turned around and walked away, my feet moving without my mind. I walked past the gate, past the next house, until I found myself back at Yusuf's door. I knocked once, weakly. He opened the door and frowned. Amina, what happened? I couldn't speak at first. The words got stuck in my throat. Then they burst out in a broken whisper. They're trying to kill me. He listened quietly as I told him everything. Layla's words, Murat's plan, the numbers. I expected him to shout, to curse them, to say, throw them out, call the police right now. He didn't. Instead, he asked softly, do you still love your daughter? The question cut deeper than anything. Yes, I choked, but I hate what she's becoming. He nodded slowly. Greed is a thick fog. It blinds people. But remember, you raised her in a fog of your own too. I frowned. What do you mean? You bought her everything. You taught her that love equals money, that comfort is above struggle. You never let her feel what you felt. Fear of losing, fear of hunger. You gave her a garden where nothing ever died. How would she learn the value of life? His words stung. I wanted to defend myself. I was trying to protect her. I know, he said kindly. You were a loving mother. But sometimes too much love without wisdom turns into poison. Tears flowed down my cheeks. So it's my fault? It's not that simple, he replied. People still have choices. She is an adult. Her husband too. Their greed is their own sin. I wiped my eyes. What do I do now? Call the police? Go back in and pretend I heard nothing. Yusuf leaned back, thinking. First, he said, you protect your life. Second, you give them a chance to see themselves clearly before the law does. And third, you learn your lesson, not just about them, but about yourself. He stood up, went to a drawer, and pulled out a small old phone. Here, it records clearly. Tomorrow you go home early. Stay outside the door again. Let their own words become a mirror. If they choose to continue, then you call the police. Let karma do its work. I stared at the phone. Isn't that cruel? Cruel? He raised his eyebrows. They are planning to kill you for money. You're giving them one more night to step back from the cliff. That's mercy, Amina. I took the phone with shaking hands. Tonight, he said softly, you stay here. Sleep on my couch. Tomorrow, God willing, the fog will lift, or the storm will begin. The recording and the final decision. The next evening my heart hammered as I stood again outside my own front door, phone recording in my pocket. Inside, Layla spoke first. I didn't sleep all night, she said. I kept seeing her face. Murat's voice was cooler than ice. You're thinking too much. Did she say where she was going this afternoon? She said she was going to the pharmacy, and then Yusuf's house like always, Layla answered. Good. When she comes back, I'll wait near the stairs. When she's halfway up, I'll accidentally bump into her. You scream, we both rush down, cry for help. Easy. I felt my knees weaken. Maybe we can just talk to her again, Layla said desperately. Ask her to put the house in my name. Maybe she'll... Are you a child? He snapped. We already tried. She said she wasn't ready. She'll never be ready. She likes having us depend on her. She enjoys it. Stop being naive. This is our chance. One push and we're free. There was a long silence. Then my daughter said very quietly, Fine, do it. I'll stick to the story. The phone in my pocket kept recording. My heart kept breaking. When I was sure I had enough, I turned away and walked back to Yusuf's house. My body moved like it belonged to someone else. He opened the door before I even knocked. You heard it? He asked. I nodded, numb. They chose the storm. We spent the next hour at his small table. He made strong tea, but my hands were too shaky to lift the cup. He helped me copy the recording to his own phone, then to a USB drive. Now, he said, we go to the police, calmly, without anger. Let the law decide the punishment. Greed has written its own confession. At the police station, I played the recording. The officers listened, their faces growing hard. One of them looked at me with a mixture of pity and professional distance. Madam, he said, this is serious evidence of intent to murder. We will send 2 officers with you. You will enter the house as usual. We will wait nearby. If they attempt anything, we intervene immediately. Fear rose in me like water. Will they go to prison? I whispered. If the judge sees fit, he replied. They chose this. In that moment, I understood what Yusuf meant. Karma doesn't need our rage. It just needs the truth. The stairs. That night, I walked toward my house with 2 plainclothes officers following at a distance. My legs felt like wood. My mind repeated one prayer over and over. God, protect me and open her eyes before it's too late. I opened the front door slowly. I'm home, I called. For a moment, there was silence. Then Layla's head appeared at the top of the stairs. Her face looked pale, eyes wide. Mom, you're back, she said, voice a little too high. Murat stepped into view behind her, pretending to be casual. Welcome, he said. How was your day? I could see it in his eyes, the calculation, the coldness. His hand was resting on the stair railing, knuckles white. I took a deep breath and stepped inside, closing the door behind me. The pharmacy was crowded, I said softly, and I spent some time with Yusuf. He sends his greetings. I began to climb the stairs, my knee aching. Layla moved aside. Murat stayed where he was, 1 step below her. Be careful, Mum, he sneered slightly. These stairs are dangerous. I saw it, the small shift of his body, the tension in his arm, ready to accidentally knock into me. But before he could move, loud knocks exploded on the door. Police, open the door! Murat froze. Layla's mouth fell open. What? What's happening? She whispered. 2 officers entered, badges out, faces serious. Mr. Murat, Miss Layla, one of them said. We have questions about a conversation recorded in this house regarding an attempted murder. Layla's legs buckled. She dropped to the steps, clutching the railing. What? No, there must be a mistake, Murat sputtered. The officer pulled out a small speaker. Pressed play. Their own voices filled the house like ghosts. Tonight. It has to look like an accident. The life insurance is $120,000. 1 push and we're free. Layla began to sob. Murat's face went pale, then angry, then pale again. Who? He stammered, glaring at me. I met his eyes, feeling strange, heavy calm wash over me. You were right about one thing, I said quietly. These stairs are dangerous, but not for me. The officers placed handcuffs on Murat first. He shouted, cursed, tried to jerk away, but they held him firmly. Then they turned to Layla. Miss Layla? You're also under investigation for conspiracy to commit murder. She looked at me, eyes wild. Mom, say something. Tell them I didn't mean it. Tell them I was just talking. For a moment my heart broke all over again. This was my child, the baby whose fever I watched all night, whose hands I held when she learned to walk. But I remembered something Yusuf had said. Protecting someone from consequences is not always love. Sometimes love is letting the mirror stay in front of them. I gave you a chance, I whispered. 2 nights, 2 chances to step back. You didn't. Her face twisted with horror. Fine, she screamed. You always wanted control. Now you can have the house all to yourself. Are you happy, Mom? Are you happy you chose money over your own daughter? Her words were a knife, but this time they didn't go deep, because I finally saw the truth. I was the one who had made money her language of love. The officers led them out. The house fell silent, painfully silent. After the storm. For the first few weeks I could barely eat. I cried into my pillow at night, asking where did I go wrong. Yusuf visited often, bringing soup, bread and quiet company. One afternoon, as we drank tea at my kitchen table, I said, I feel like I lost everything. My child, my peace, my trust. You didn't lose everything, he replied gently. You lost an illusion, the illusion that love means giving without limits. Now you are learning the difference between love and weakness. I frowned. So what is love then? He smiled. Love is wanting the best for someone's soul, not just their comfort. It is saying no when yes will destroy them. It is teaching gratitude, not entitlement. Do you think Layla will ever understand? I asked, voice shaking. I don't know, he answered honestly. Prison can break a person or wake them up, but that part is not your test anymore. Your test now is to forgive without becoming blind again. Time passed. The court case was long and painful. Murat received a heavy sentence. Layla, because she hesitated and had no prior record, received a shorter one, but still had to face the consequences of her choices. When I visited her once, months later, she looked thinner, older. She didn't speak for a long time. Then she whispered, Mom, I'm sorry. When they read the recording in court, I heard myself. I couldn't believe that was me. I sounded like a stranger. Tears filled my eyes. Greed speaks with many voices, I said softly, but it was you who opened the door to it. She nodded, crying silently. I kept thinking, she said, you never let me struggle. You always fixed everything, paid everything. I thought you owed me that. I don't know, when I started thinking that your life was something in my way. I reached through the bars and took her hand. I made mistakes too, I admitted. I thought I was loving you by protecting you from every pain. I forgot that some pains teach us to value life. We cried together, fingers locked through the cold metal. I don't know if you can forgive me, she whispered. I forgive you, I said, but you still have to finish your path. Learn from this. Come out different. That will be your apology. She squeezed my fingers so tightly it hurt. For the first time in years, her grip felt like that of a little girl again. Moral and gratitude. I went home that day and sat alone in my quiet living room. The house felt different, not because anything had changed physically, but because I finally understood something. My flaw was not loving too much. My flaw was loving without wisdom. I had tried to buy my daughter's happiness and ended up feeding her greed. I believed that shielding her from struggle was kindness, but it left her without a backbone when temptation came. Greed, like a shadow, will grow whenever we shine all our light on comfort and ignore character. Now every time I pass the stairs, I run my hand gently along the railing and whisper a small prayer for protection, for repentance, and for gratitude for the life I still have. Moral of the story. Love is not giving everything they want. Love is giving what helps their soul grow. When we teach people that money equals love, we should not be surprised when they choose money over love. Greed blinds the heart, but truth and consequences are the mirrors that can finally open our eyes.